Nathan, we'll hang out with you, man. You gotta ping your brother here, but we're a little early, Nathan. So this is just kind of like the have a coffee with us kind of moment.
No worries. Thanks for having me on, guys.
How have you been? Pretty busy, it seems, huh?
Oh yeah, no, we've full steam ahead, and we're excited to talk today. There's a lot to go over.
Absolutely. Can you maybe just to give people an idea, what is your main role in Viva, and just where do you come in for those that are unaware?
I'm the COO of VIVA. I'm also the president of or CTO and president of the Holdco. So we have multiple different entities. Viva is one of the ones that we acquired. And I'm the CEO of Accel, which owns Alva. So there's a lot of different roles I play across the Holdco, but for Viva specifically, I'm the COO.
Got you.
I run all the tech and all the, let's just say, technical operations and deployments of everything that we'll go over today. The ad exchange specifically, all the AI that we do. I'm in charge of all that.
Give us some prerequisite, and again, we'll really kick this off when John gets here, but a lot of people are, like I said, boxed in this belief that Viva is a telco company. You acquired it for a specific reason to, at least what I'm aware, is to test this ad exchange, test this thesis you guys had. Can you just talk about, what really makes Viva different from other telco companies and what your moat is here with this ad exchange?
Yeah, I mean, we can get right into it if you want, and you can join. And if you guys good with that?
Kick it off.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the Viva is not a telco company anymore. Like I stated, I think on our last interview that we did, we're way past that. Viva is a full-fledged data company. That's what we focus on. After we acquired Viva, the telco is more we've always said that it's going to become, a commodity, mustard managed catch-up type of service. But it is an important service. It's what's providing that infrastructure. It's what's providing that, user base, and it's what's providing the data feeds that's kind of fueling everything. The parts that you mentioned earlier are key on the ad exchange side, because that's what truly, makes our setup different than anyone else. I think it's important, though, that you have to understand what the market conditions are for ad exchanges globally for you to really understand the value of what we're doing locally. And I might have touched on this a little bit, but I'll recap from the last conversation that we had. All these global ad exchanges that exist in the world, the major ones, even the Googles, the Metas, all of them, they all focus on a handful of countries. You can see it on their quarterly earnings report. You can see it everywhere. They focus on USA, Canada, Europe, and let's just say Asia Pacific for talking purposes. When they're on these topics, all of their reporting, majority of all the percentages are in those buckets. And then the rest of the world, which is 190 more countries, is lumped into this other rest of world category that has substantially lower ARPUs, average revenue per user, than any of the other countries or regions. What does that mean for a country like Bolivia? That means that all the advertisers in Bolivia are getting sidelined. They're not getting prioritized. And ultimately, the end user suffers, because when they're Googling a t-shirt that they want to buy, it's not prioritizing the local vendors that are down the street. It's giving some global brand that's completely irrelevant to them. And even at that, the global brand can't process their local payment. So it's completely useless to them, because none of these brands or global brands can even process the local currency. So that's where our solution that we deployed after we acquired Viva is so key here, because we integrate the ad exchange directly into the carrier's core. And that gives us access to a plethora of different layers, but for talking purposes, let's just simplify it to 3 layers. There's the app level layer, which is all the super app layer, let's just say. The super app layer is browsing, streaming, social media, messaging, etc. Then one level above that is now the device level data. That's giving us all the geolocation data, device metrics, all of that. There's a whole host of things that you get from the device level. And then above that is the network level data. That's 100% of all data packet flows that are flowing through the network. It's terabytes and terabytes and really petabytes worth of data that are happening every single day at those levels. All of those layers get fed into our proprietary AI and ML models. And for the purposes of ad exchange talking right now, that's what fuels our hyper targeting. That's what gives us a one-to-one ad placement for that end user. And we're only showing that end user an ad that they're most likely willing to buy. Going back to that t-shirt example, what does the local Bolivian care about a t-shirt from Brazil that they can't buy? Or from another country that they can't? They care about the one down the street. And then when you're pairing that with device level data, the GPS data, now we can offer these local vendors unique ways to actually advertise, because now they can activate geofencing ads and generate more foot traffic to their brick and mortar store. Maybe they don't want to sell things online. Maybe they just want more people in the store. You can activate 1,000 different ways that you can advertise for them. And then the most important part is no global ad exchange accepts the local currency. So no Bolivian advertiser right now can spend their Bolivianos on Facebook or Meta. We're the only ad exchange that accepts the local currency as payment for ad services, which means we'll also be accepting VIVA token as payment for ad services because we're adding it as a payment method for our ecosystem. So that's that simple difference alone on accepting local currency. That's enough to trigger adoption because we're the only player in town. There's not another ad exchange that accepts the local currency. So not only are we giving them higher click-through rates, local prioritization, geolocation, we're leapfrogging these brick and mortar stores into a digital economy. We're leapfrogging these traditional fiat end users into a digital Web3 economy. That enough, that would be enough, but now we're the only players in town accepting, their local currency. That makes it to where, it's a home run.
Okay, so there's 2 things I want to touch on. Firstly, you just outlined the entire ecosystem you guys have kind of built from, the telco company, which sources one level of the 3 levels of data you mentioned. The app is another one. And then all this data is important for the ad exchange and local targeting. So when you think about VIVA, how many companies really come to mind?
Well, VIVA is a part of a bigger ecosystem, which is our, holdco environment, where everything works off each other, everything feeds off each other, and everything benefits off each other. Our ecosystem, the reason why that's so key is that we're 100% vertically integrated for every piece of that ecosystem. We own more than 400 different proprietary IPs across all of our different verticals, from ad technologies, AI technologies, e-commerce platforms, marketplace platforms, fintech, streaming, telco systems. We make it all in-house. We have a full stack software factory with hundreds of different skill sets, with developers that specialize in data science, full stack, app development, website, you name it, we have it all in-house. And every layer of that is all in-house. There's not very many companies in Latin America. There's no companies in Bolivia. There's not very many in Latin America or the world, let's just say, that have that level of vertical integration. It's because the reason why that's so key is we don't have to depend on other people or other entities to get done what we need to get done. That's why we're able to move so fast. If you've seen the speed that we went from launching the token to going to phase 1, to phase 2, to now launching locally very, very soon. which we announced, a hint on that as well. All of that, no major company moves at that speed. If they want to launch a new product, it takes 6 to 18 months just to get the ball rolling. We're talking, we launched this, I don't even know when we launched it, a month ago, 2 months ago, less than 2 months.
Yeah, less than 2 months.
So no company moves at the speed that we're moving. The only reason why we're able to do that is because we're vertically integrated.
So the key there is anything you guys need done, you're not going anywhere else other than what you guys have already built to get that job done.
Well, I just told you on the different titles that I hold for the different entities. If I want something done, I just ask my left hand, can I get that done? And then it gets done. So it's a little bit different than a typical setup where I'm submitting some RFP and going through this bidding process and getting, that alone could take 3 months.
Yeah.
And if I don't, and if I'm not confident in that skill set internally, or as I'm building that out, then I'll partner with someone to develop that, like what we did with the Hello Moon partnership on making something quick on the Solana-based ecosystem that we're deploying on the wallet. We use them to do all the APIs. They're very seasoned on the Solana-based ecosystem. They give us those base APIs, and then we can figure everything from there. But now we own that IP. I'm not licensing the product. I'm not licensing anything. If I need help to build something quicker, I'll bring in the expertise to make what we need happen fast.
Perfect. Something else you mentioned was you guys have over 1 million users. And you said you're one of the only companies that allows people to pay with the Bolivian currency. You're soon going to be accessing 30,000 point of sales to start accepting VIVA and using that VIVA token in lieu of the Bolivian currency. How is that going to look? Could you just explain that a little bit more to us?
Yeah, I'll touch on that in a minute, but on the 30,000 points of sale is key for education. Everything's going to be digitally accessible. The number one payment means in that country is via QR. QR payments is, I don't know, in like the US, it's kind of similar, like a Zelle or something like that, where it's an ACH instant transfer. But QR payments are the one of the number one means on how things get done. So the points of sale are offering different types of cash-in locations, but more so it's that many points of presence educating a Web 2 public as to what Web 3 is and what they can do with it. Because they're going to these points of sales to pay something. They're paying a bill. They're paying, whether it's a telco bill or utility or whatever, they're going there to pay, to use their money. So they have to be trained and told that there's another way to do things, and you don't have to depend on the fluctuating local currency. You can have other means of doing that. And yes, a VIVA token could also be fluctuating as well, but we're also offering ways that you can hold stable coins as well, and then we're incentivizing them to purchase the VIVA with those stable coins.
I want to add on to this because I think this is key for crypto Twitter to understand. There are a lot of crypto tokens, I would say 99% of them, where the only core utility is holding them in a wallet. What you guys have done, and which is probably the hardest thing to crack for a crypto token, is what can you do with it? What can I spend it on? So I got this VIVA token. That's great. Maybe I earned it in the app for, giving up my data or something. What can I use it to buy? And that's where it goes from being just another crypto token in Solana to a thing that has real utility, has real demand, and then people actually maybe want to store their wealth in it as well because it's a stable, relative to other currencies, it's stable or even appreciating from the network effects of people using it. So I don't know if you have any comment on that kind of dynamic.
Yeah, that's the benefit of having a lower market cap going into this, is that there's going to be an immense buying pressure and there's going to be a lot of upside for everyone who's using it in country earlier. one of the reasons why we launched it prior to doing and not doing it at the same time for the local side. We want to let them see the growth, because they need to be convinced that there's growth potential. And why else? Otherwise, why would they want to hold the VIVA token when they could hold a stable token that, if they're already dealing with fluctuating fiat, why would they want to hold something that could fluctuate if it was already at a peak price? With the amount of buy pressure that's going to be coming in and our hundreds of thousands of, right now, wherever we're at, I don't really look at it, but the 1,000, 2,000 holders that are there right now, that's what's keeping this happening right now. Is 1,000, I don't know, you guys know more than me, but however many holders we have, that's what's keeping this, if you want to call it a market cap.
1250.
Whatever the amount of holders, that's what's keeping this price. That's not a utility amount of holders there. No. I could double that just with the employee incentive program that we'll talk about in a minute. So to me, everything right now is, for lack of better terms, a joke, because it's not even a blip of what is about to happen. So it's great, and there's going to be a ton of upside for the users. But to me, I don't look at that stuff. It doesn't mean anything to me until it's at another stage.
Yeah, I want to help people understand this too, because we've seen launches like, let's say WorldCoin, for example, where the token is live, but it's already like fully dilute, like it's fully or circulating valuation is in the billions, right? So the public is buying in the billions, where there's this kind of big behemoth supply by VCs that they're selling, and the token's going down, and it's really hard to build network effects in that environment, where you guys have a beautiful playbook ahead of you. You have the opposite, which is a huge opportunity where the market cap is low today. It's, fully circulating, minus the half that VIVA has in reserve that are locked. So the circulating supply is actually like $2 million. And now every incremental buy on top just adds to the network effect. Like, that is a massive opportunity. I don't think crypto people have seen anything like this before.
Well, they don't. And that's where they, respectively, they just don't understand. They don't understand the scale of what this is. They don't understand, frankly, anything of it. And it's just the fact of it. And honestly, I don't care, because what we're about to do is going to speak for itself. It's going to be, what we're doing here, and is massive. And yes, the crypto side is a nice piece of it, but what we're doing here is a long time in the making. And this isn't a fly by night type of project. This is a long-term thing that we're working on here. So whatever happens from now until the launch, that's very, very soon, is, it's irrelevant.
To close up the app thing, just a second, Dom, to close up the app thing, what is the timing for the app to be fully launched with VIVA? Is it already in market today? Like, can people download it?
Right now, we have a very large beta user group. It's already live with them. We've been debugging some things with them. The launch that's occurring in Bolivia, we've already stated it's going to happen sometime during the Expo Cruise Show, which is located in Santa Cruz. I'm not going to say the dates of it. Anyone can go look up what that is, but it's going to happen at some point during that show, is when we're going to be launching it locally. And that's really what we're launching there, is the base of what we already developed for phase 2, which are the base necessities of buying it. The hardest part, believe it or not, in the country is converting the Bolivianos into a cryptocurrency. That's the hardest part, because it doesn't exist. The MoonPays of the world that you guys are used to, that doesn't exist there. They don't accept the Bolivianos. Nobody accepts the Bolivianos. So we have to convert those Bolivianos with liquidity partners in order to make that a reality. That alone is the biggest hurdle. So with that said, we're launching the ability for everyday users to actually buy crypto. whether that be the VIVA token or a stable coin on Solana chain. That's what we're enabling them to buy for this launch. They're going to be able to swap it in between those, and they're going to be able to pay bills via, which that alone, which is just a base phase 2, is more utility than most can say. Now that kickstarts the phase 3, which phase 3 is all features. But Web3 features mean nothing to Web2 users if they can't get it into crypto in the first place. So the main focus on this launch is the base features that seem like, let's just say, common knowledge to you is not common knowledge to everyone who's in the local environment. We're going to be driving the adoption via our own ad exchange, logically. So all of our active app users, all of our subscribers, we're going to be having local commercials. We'll post that commercial on X. It'll be in Spanish, obviously, because we have Spanish users. But it's that commercial is what's going to be running for our users to use the new feature. It's going to be an over-the-air push, the new wallet, to all the active users at the same time. And then that advertisement is going to be deep linking to the wallet to bring them through a user-friendly tutorial and onboarding flow to start using the VIVA token, buying it, using it, holding it, different ways like that. And then, as with any ad exchange, an ad exchange is built on advertisers and publishers. We treat our super app environment as a publisher of the ad exchange, but we also have third-party publishers. So we onboard all the top publishers in the country in our publisher network. A publisher is like a news site, let's just say. Anything that gets a lot of active users, any eyeballs to it. So after we advertise to our existing user base inside the app, then we'll extend that advertisement to the publisher networks, which essentially gives us the entire country full control of all the ad placements, and we will be driving non-Viva users to also be buying the Viva via the app as well. So, the way that works, publisher network is those publishers, those news sites, they put our ad exchange ad tags on their site so that our ads show on their site, and then they get a piece of the advertising revenue.
Looks like we got John with us. Oh, and he's muted.
You're on mute, Johnny. We can't hear you, Johnny.
He's going off.
We want it. We want the alpha, man.
Okay, so I was gonna say our market share is pretty low, but our mind share is going to be 100%. There's no way you can avoid it. Everybody's gonna know Viva coin is out there. It's circulating. They're gonna see the stores. They're gonna see the point of sales. It's unavoidable. So I just want to throw it out there that the mind share is going to be 100%, which I think is one of the most important things.
Well, it's not just mind share. Our actual reach in the country is 100% of the entire country via the publisher network. The actual subscribers that we hold, yes, we have 2.5 hours of their time on our app that we can advertise them this new feature. And on those news sites, they're maybe spending 5 minutes of their day on those news sites, but we are reaching the entire country to drive adoption of what we're doing here.
Yeah, we're building a lot of real estate in everyone's mind in Bolivia.
Yeah.
Before we get too carried away, I want to talk about, that employee token purchase program, which I have pulled up here. You guys made a tweet about it, and let me pull it up real quick.
So we'll definitely go into details about that more into the future, but that's going to be something we're bringing, because most importantly, our employees, that's our team, that's our family, those are our friends, and they're going to be the people who understand Viva and know what we're doing the most. So to get them involved, to incentivize them to participate, to get them excited about the long-term vision and growth of the company, we have a very detailed, employee buy program, basically, to incentivize everyone that's involved to get more involved and get more bullish and share. And everyone knows everyone in Bolivia. So starting with 1,000 people, that's the start of a wildfire, and the wind will blow it all around the country. So we have a lot of plans for that, but we don't want to go into 100% details because not even our employees have necessarily, figured out exactly what we're going to do for everyone. but we're going to be sharing all the videos, all of the content you guys will see will be shared with everyone.
The overall concept, though, is not a secret. Any stock purchase plan in a pubco, there's a handful of buckets that you could possibly do. You're either matching a percentage of what they buy, you're incorporating it into bonuses, you're incorporating it into different calculations for how they receive monies. So really, it's just doing it uniquely with a token asset versus a stock asset.
Are we allowed to
very
ask
creative
how,
with that.
Yeah, are we allowed to ask how those VIVA tokens will be procured?
They're going to be bought.
Yeah.
Well, you do have the 50% treasury, which is why Josh asks.
I was just
but that's that's 36 months from now. That's 9,000 eternities from now. So to me, the right now it's going to be bought with ad revenues.
Okay, there we go.
Anyways, on the 1,000 employees, though, that's also super important for what you talked about earlier on the 30,000 points of presence. Those 1,000 employees are basically our adoption ambassadors to train those 30,000 points of sales on how to do it and what they need to say. So really the adoption starts with the employees, but it spreads throughout the network very rapidly past that. And you guys don't know, but Bolivia is like a telenovela with regards to, information coming out. It's a very small country. Everybody hears everything instantly, for good and for bad. But for this, it's going to be for good. So I think really one of the other points that is important that we kind of didn't touch on here, but on what other things, what does it truly mean to kind of like be a data company? Because I told you, we said that previously a few times on, Viva is not a telco, it is a data company. And what does that actually mean? And, I don't know if you want to get into that, but to me, that's an important part. And the future partnerships that are going to be announced, you're going to start to quickly understand why those partnerships happened.
Yeah, we absolutely want to get into why that's important. I think this was a great representation of more of the aspects people kind of missed. I would love to also talk about, expansion progress, because you had your use case in Bolivia, your test case. It was very successful. The ad exchange, the data vertical, it clearly proved to work. And I know you've mentioned maybe moving to the United States and Mexico. Can you tell us who's starting to use this concept you've adopted? Do you have any partners? Do you have anyone that's really stuck out to you, I guess, that you want to mention, or just talk about that vertical expansion and why data and the ad exchange is going to be so integral in all telcos moving forward?
Yeah. So there's different expansion protocols that the Viva community are going to be benefiting from our holdco's expansion initiatives. Like I said earlier, the holdco, all the entities that are a part of us, all mutually benefit from when we do these expansions. On the Viva side, we've already mentioned our Mexico and USA initiatives. That's no secret. We're also going to be offering, I'm not going to say when, but we're going to be offering a global plan that's going to be paired with all these crypto initiatives that's going to work in every country. We won't necessarily have local operations in all those countries, but you'll be able to have service in any country in the world. That's going to be paired with the super app and a lot of other great things on the Web3 side. With regards to the expansion on the ecosystem, which is the Alva ecosystem, we have massive partnerships with the top carriers in the world. That's the business model of what you just said, proving that use case of Bolivia. And we're going to be paving the way for other telcos to follow under our umbrella. So there's a lot of potential on that side. There's a lot of huge expansions also on the data partnership side. That's why I was alluding to touching more on that, because the data is the most valuable asset that anybody has. But it's only valuable if you know how to use it and you're processing it the right way. When I say that we transform Viva into a data company, you have to understand, what is a data company? What does that even mean? In the age of what we're doing right now with AI and all these AI companies, the AI companies' biggest expenditures are what? It's
Data.
infrastructure, being able to process it, all the crazy GPU power, all the infrastructure that's needed in order to actually process it, and licensing legal data to train those models, right? So that's what, when we acquired Viva, everyone throws around $1 billion company. There's $1 billion just in infrastructure. That doesn't include revenue, just infrastructure. You understand? We have almost 10 different data centers. There's 3 different cores. There's 1,400 towers, radios on all those towers. You guys have no idea what the infrastructure is just alone of a company of that size. And then all the data flows through that network. So the 2 things that every AI company needs to succeed is what we already have. Now, what's the difference and what's the advantage of that? What are we actually doing with that? That's the part that's key, because now we own that first party data. I'm not licensing it from anybody else. I'm not paying some exorbitant fee to get all that data. All that data is feeding our AI, our ML, our predictive models. We're not renting anything. So we're the source and we're the product. That's huge. And what you do with that data is the value of that data. So we're feeding the ad exchange targeting. That's one thing that we're doing with the data, but we're also feeding the enterprise with that data. We deploy agentic AI models at every level of the business to make better decision-making, to optimize the departments, to optimize that call center that you just showed, to optimize the app and all the different modules, the user experience. You think a person is ingesting all that data and making optimizations? No, it's all these agentic AI models that are, and ML models that are providing different insights that a normal brain can't even comprehend. So that's what, in a country, in Bolivia, we have the richest and most valuable data that is in that country, period. There's nobody else that has more data or is using and making actual usable rich data out of that than us.
So my next question would be, you have all this data for, like you said, your own models and infrastructure and things you're doing. Are people coming to you for that data? Are people outside of just your ecosystem trying to get their hands on that?
Of course. And there's a lot of Web3 opportunities there as well, because there's numerous companies, I won't state names, but their entire business model is getting licensed data and feeding that licensed data into different AI models so that they can in turn sell that to an AI type company who needs that data. There's all different types of things that, interests that these companies want to buy, from pictures to text to whatever, you name it. There's a million different things that these companies use.
And to put this in perspective, the scale of size, like what are some of these AI companies paying for data like this? Because I don't think people realize just how much.
Blank checks.
Well,
Blank checks.
It's not blank check, but it's large amounts, and it just depends on the what it is, what vertical, and how relevant it is. But it's also, that business model is as long as it takes for the AI to get to where they need to get, but it's not forever. So those companies, they have their business model, you sell it to them, and great, and you get a nice year or 2 deal out of it, and you're making extra off of that. But if you're not making all that money off of yourself and using that data, then you're essentially just feeding someone else, all of that.
Makes sense. Tell us where we're at in terms of phase 3. We've seen you guys said you're on the phase 3 of the roadmap. In terms of phase 3, just like, where do you guys stand? You got this expo coming up. I actually have a tweet. Let me see if I can pull that up.
By the way, best event production I've ever seen is you guys. The videos, the drone coming in upside down and then like turning around, like, guys, amazing.
Yeah, the production team is insane. They have their hands full with all the requests, especially all Johnny's requests. He's I think they have a dartboard of him in their office.
Is this like just like culturally, real quick, before we get into this, like culturally, explain the importance of Viva as a brand in the country, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, we're a youth-driven brand. We're pushing the boundaries with regards to what a telco is. Like I said, to the point that we're not even considering it as a telco. We're a data company, and we're youth-driven. So everything that we do, it needs to be lively, it needs to be fun. We have a large local influencer network that pushes everything that we do. If you look at me and my brother Ryan, who's the CEO, we're not old, 80-year-old, 7-year-old CEOs. We're young, and we're pushing what the next generation wants to see. And frankly, on the telco side, it's eventually going to all be free anyway. So you need to use that vehicle to get to the next stage of business.
It's interesting. So I'm looking at this post. You've clearly caught some interesting people's attention. It looks like the Solana Foundation and Super Team BR will be capturing and sharing the story of real time. What does that relationship look like, and why do they want to be at your event?
I can't speak too much on that, but we are that entire ecosystem on the Web3 side is on Solana. Solana was designed for high volume, low fee type of real world utility use cases. And that's exactly what we are. So I guess a better question, why wouldn't they like that?
Yeah. So they're going to be there capturing just a story in real time. What are they going to do with that? Like that film? Are they there to film? Are they there to just conversate, move that needle forward?
I mean, I don't think it's just going to sit on their hard drive. We'll see what that happens.
Okay. There we go. Then we'll leave it at that. But yeah, as for that phase 3 comment though, do you want to tell us where we're at in phase 3? I know you had planned.
Like I said, the launch is the start of phase 3. Phase 3 isn't necessarily the same as phase 2, where it's in the app. Great. Phase 3 is going to be launched in releases, but it's going to be as the users prove their knowledge of phase 2. If they can't buy, the features of phase 3 are irrelevant. If we're not doing a proper job of the tutorials in a mass scale, and the value props of converting the Bolivianos into a cryptocurrency, then adding the staking features and all these other things that we're going to be doing are irrelevant. So the launch is the start of phase 3. We're actively developing a lot of what phase 3 is already, but we'll be releasing it strategically based off of the proof that the audience is ready to see it. The audience isn't just you guys who are holders. The audience is the actual users.
Got you. No, that makes complete sense. Another tweet I want to kind of highlight, I saw you guys post a while ago. You said, intriguing topic, cell towers are blue chip real estate. Tokenization lets us break the best deals into pieces for Viva holders, or Viva holders can access. Can you just kind of touch on your thoughts on this? How deep does this go? Any comment on that? I think it's an interesting tweet.
Yeah. Johnny always surprises me with what he likes to post, but
this is up and coming. This is something discussed that is on the table, and we're actively
on this model. On this model, we've been working on this model for a while. As you guys know, one of our core businesses in the holdco is telco infrastructure. We're one of the largest privately owned telco owners and providers, tower owners and providers throughout Latin America. We have a lot of physical assets that may become digital soon, and that's what we'll say about that.
Okay. Because I'm trying to gather, there's a lot of different verticals, a lot of things you're doing. So I saw this and it seemed very Web3 focused, and I wanted to touch on it.
It is Web3 focus, and it's a unique way on the tower industry. You know, I don't know if you guys know what that even means, but I'll give you the basic.
Towers are very gate kept in a way.
I'll give you I'll give you the basic premise of this. When we build a tower and we own a tower and we're renting, an MNO is renting that tower space from us. Not all MNOs own their towers. They can't own their towers because they don't have necessarily enough free cash to go and build hundreds of thousands of these towers. So they depend on other builders to build those towers, and they rent that tower space from them. We've done a unique model. Really, we were one of the first to develop a new model for the carriers. This is kind of off topic. You can stop me if it's not relevant, but we developed a new technology in the tower industry called RAN sharing. The reason why this was relevant was because the traditional tower leaseback model doesn't work for MNO carriers anymore, because they have to book the entire length of that lease as a liability on their balance sheets. As you can imagine, if their ARPUs are dwindling, they can't afford to do a 5G rollout where you need 10x more towers than they currently have, because the wavelengths of 5G are shorter and more compact than the wavelengths of 4G LTE. They need to build 10 times as many towers. How are they going to do that if they're making less and less money every month? So what we did on the RAN sharing technology is we don't charge them a lease, but we do a rev share on the data throughput. So now we're a COG and an OPEX for them, and they don't have to book a rev share or an OPEX on their balance sheets. So that's why we got a lot of their business. Is we'll build the tower. They don't have to have that infrastructure cost associated with it. We float that, but we get a large amount from that. On the traditional model, a tower company would be getting anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 a month from these mobile network operators, and they're on like a 30-year guaranteed contract. That part is what we transformed, because now we make significantly more than that by doing a rev share on the data throughput. The digital asset part and tokenizing that is more of a fractional royalty, let's just say, to where you could participate on those fractional royalties with by breaking down the cost of that tower asset. Let's say it's $200,000 for a 40-meter tower. You can participate in a future royalty of those earnings, and it would be split across the holders of that asset.
And you guys will be the first to do this in history, likely.
Yeah. Well, it's the first. If you guys don't know by now, we like to be the first at a lot of things. So
yeah,
this is just another one of them.
Again, I guess this is hypothetical, but if you were to fractionalize a tower as an experiment, would it be open to everyone, or maybe VIVA holder specific?
Yeah, now you're being Detective De Niro.
Speculation
There's going to be a big incentive and reward for VIVA holders to enter. Like I said before, all the holdcos benefit from each other. So if something like that gets released, holders of VIVA would definitely be having priority, exclusive or non-exclusive, but early access to something like
that. This is all super interesting stuff. I guess as we kind of wrap up, I want to get into your just closing thoughts. We're moving towards this expo, like you said, Nate, and there's a lot of exciting stuff. This is kind of when you feel everything is just going to kick off. There's been this build up. I say just maybe give us an idea of what people should expect from this, maybe what's coming up, and just some closing thoughts.
Yeah, this is everything that we've been working towards. This is an evolution of a lot of dominoes that aligned across our traditional business, leading up into the future of a new aspect of the business. We're changing a local economy, and we have the reach and the and the infrastructure to do so. So this is going to be a big launch for the local Bolivian users. This is going to be a big launch for the company. How the token translates into that, we'll see. I mean, I don't see how a bunch of buys would hurt, but that's something that we'll see on how it gets rolled out. The level of adoption will be kind of triggering or scaling based on the success of how we see the tutorials and the buys occurring. So we'll turn up or turn down that volume, or really not turn down, but we'll turn up the advertising effort to more and more. And like I said, eventually to the whole country through the publisher network, so that everyone can get a piece of the pie. But it's just very exciting times. And I think the biggest thing here is there are a lot of eyeballs outside of the crypto community with regards to the telco area on how things can be done differently. So this is going to be a massive, pioneering step here of what is happening in the telco industry and how we're really paving the way for doing something different and new that's going to benefit and fix that industry.
Yep.
And you're seeing a lot of interest from.
I was saying many will follow. We lead, and many will follow once they understand what we're doing and how we're paving the way.
And like, for an idea, what does that interest look like? Are you seeing other interested people that are just watching this happen with you guys? And
like I said, with our Alva ecosystem product, we actively are partnering with carriers around the world on the ad monetization side. That ecosystem that I painted earlier, we provide that for other carriers, and we do a rev share on that advertising revenue. We already have signed deals for that are launching Q1 of next year, but that's on the Accel Alva side of the fence. But we offer the entire suite of products to those carriers. So everything that we're doing here is going to be offered for them. So we are facilitating and literally paving the path for how we will be implementing this with those carrier partners.
And Viva holders will be first to know about those carrier partners and what we're doing next. So, there's alpha there, that's for sure.
That's what we want. John, we didn't get your, I guess, intro because we had kind of started going by the time you joined.
Yeah,
but maybe just quickly, I know it's at the end, but quickly just tell us what you're doing for Viva and kind of what your role is.
So basically, I jump on all the calls. I'm the creative aspect of the team. I try to get them going in the best direction for Viva holders. I understand the space very well. I'm very active and listening to everybody and making sure that it's noted and everybody hears, what we should do and innovative ways to tackle all of these challenges presented to us. But ultimately, yeah, I'm just the active one. Lately, the last 2 weeks, I've been extremely busy on the winery. There's many different things that I'm a part of, and being the creative, voice within Viva is my most important role. But harvesting grapes at 3 a.m. till 9 a.m. is one of my other important roles. And obviously, I have a membership club and a vast network and a lot of reach. So just getting everything aligned, aligning all of our business interests, aligning our networks. Watching Canelo Alvarez, one of our people, lose the fight, but there's a lot there. Viva Canelo, right? Viva Canelo, and watching those things and getting creative, constantly getting creative. So, I'll drop that little teaser. But ultimately, like I said, just utilizing my network, my relationships, all of the businesses I'm involved in aligning everything. That's basically what I do.
I see, obviously Von Doom's been posting. We've seen a few of these, some from the ape community.
Those are friends that I've known for a while now and have been in the space. And we lived in Puerto Rico for a while. So we saw, Bored Apes minting. We got all the alpha for everything like that. I've known Von Doom for a very long time. All of these people that are now becoming ambassadors are friends. And, there's more to come there. That's for sure.
Would you say you're kind of the most aligned with the Web3 side and making those, I guess,
Oh, yeah,
Web3?
For sure.
Okay.
Very aligned, and I have a lot of people that I know in LA that I associate with on the regular. I'm in between San Diego, LA, and Miami, and that's kind of my whole world that I've been a part of. Behind the scenes, I have a lot of other things going on, but now I'm jumping in it and connecting with a lot of people and getting a lot of people excited and aligning, everyone's interests.
MCG live show from the winery. That is on the goal for this coming year.
It's gotta happen.
Let's do it. We're there right now. I'm in the members lounge, just hanging out.
Right in that room. I wanna have the full circle moment in sometime next year.
We got a nice balcony. I'm actually with Reed. I'm with Reed from Fitted out here. He's out here probably.
We got Reed on next week.
Yeah.
There's Reed. Reed, what are you doing out here?
Oh, it's good.
Oh, you're live on MCG right now, boys. Let's go.
The crew. You're on MCG already. You're
Yo,
a
what's
little
good,
early.
gentlemen?
We got you next week, Reed.
What's
Yeah.
up?
I'm excited to come on. We're live.
Okay,
now.
good. Maybe a co-stream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we would love it. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's beautiful.
Sorry, man.
Oh my goodness.
this is the winery. Then we have another 100-acre vineyard on the other side in the hills, ocean, mountain views. It's beautiful. But yeah, this
Not
is where we work.
a
This is
super
where we
bad
jam.
place to work from.
No, not at all. It's where deals get done.
That's right. But yeah, no. So I'm interested. Your Twitter, by the way, for those of you that aren't following John on Twitter, I think it's CB John.
Yeah, pull it up. We need to get John more followers. This is John. You are serially underfollowed, and Ethan, I haven't checked out your ex, but maybe
Nathan's
we'll get
definitely
these-
serially under.
I don't use that. I activated one because Johnny forced me to. But
Nathan's got 5 kids, so he's busy with his kids. He can't.
Yeah,
do
that's
it, but
fair.
I'm having a
It's
kid
been,
February, so.
Yeah,
That's
congrats,
fine.
by the way. That's exciting to be a dad soon.
I'm excited. I'm very
Fatherhood
excited.
is awesome. I'm a father to 2 kids, so I understand.
Nice. I'm excited to join you guys. Soon we'll have them all out of the winery. Before I was like, do we want to have like a little daycare center when I was single and no kids? I was like, no, definitely not. And now I'm like, oh yeah, we need to build.
Yeah,
a
you need,
daycare
trust
center,
me, you
like
need to
warehouse.
burn their energy. So
Yeah, exactly. So
But yeah, for those that are unaware, this is John's Twitter. When you want to talk about alpha, you guys always see me on Twitter kind of making this speculation, whatever. I've gotten the name for that now. But John is like professional level leaker. So if you want to like read between the lines, just go on this guy's Twitter. But,
irritatingly leaker.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a reason you don't see Nate with a Twitter because he's clearly held back.
it's actually probably good, Nathan, that you're not active on X because it might give you a heart attack.
that's very true.
But yeah, worth a follow there. Yeah, so I will add this, maybe not to add fuel to the fire, but I was like looking for Nate's Twitter to try to tag him because I follow all of you guys. I have since launch. That's one way I was trying to gather as much information as I could. You guys don't follow Nate on Twitter. What's up with that?
Really? I don't know. It must have slipped by me. But that's my bad. I could have sworn I did, but I guess I didn't.
Well, I was looking for him to put him in the show title today, but couldn't find him. So
You
know what, guys?
Good to
I
know.
won't lose an ounce of sleep over it.
that's
Yeah, I figured. Oh man, we're good to know. I'll get that going.
But a ton of alpha there, guys. I mean, the markets seem to be enjoying what you guys just spilled
Yeah,
today.
throw a chart up. Throw a chart up real quick.
I can throw a chart up, I guess, to end this off here.
We just end this off with a nice little chart on the screen for the clips. But yeah, guys, this was great. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else you guys wanted to cover, but we really appreciate, and just a personal note from the bottom of our heart, thank you for supporting our work, and we'll make sure this is clipped up like crazy. So
Love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no, I
you guys so
appreciate-
much. You guys are the best.
Yeah, I appreciate the time. You guys ever need any more insight or whatever, just reach out.
Love it, guys. Love it. Thanks so much. That was awesome.
All right.
Have a good one.
Chat soon.